Hey there guys, welcome back to my channel. Hope you all are doing great today. In today's video I'm going to talk about something that is quite typical for this channel to talk about, either my experiences as a gay guy or talk about the LGBT politics in society. But this is something in particular. So I've mentioned in some of my older videos that I'm more aware of American politics because I kind of like American media, TV shows, movies, and YouTubers. So naturally, when they talk about politics, I'm more aware of their politics than I am here. But, we do tend to copy American politics. So, it's very similar, I would say. So I've spoke in the past on my channel about both sides of the left and the right, how they do the same things, say the same things, and it's very much an echo chamber on both sides. And today I basically wanted to talk about how that is actually not how human beings were supposed to function. And I wanted to basically explain where this sparks from. So one of the people that I sometimes watch who is a part of American political culture is Dave Rubin. So Dave Rubin is an American political person, but doesn't really bash people for their politics. He's one of them people that is a fan of freedom of speech. So he'll have people that most of the time are in opposition to him, and he has a chat with them, which I think is a really good system, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that system. But Dave Rubin is a openly gay guy sometimes, but then most of the time, because he does work in the conservative mindset, even though I've heard him say that he identifies sometimes as conservative and then he sometimes identifies as old school libertarian, although I think he says he's mostly old school libertarian. Because the conservative media from the get-go has always been anti-LGBT, but they just hide the word, homophobic a lot, and they try to justify it with God or trying to withhold traditional mindsets, when really it's just them being homophobic or being taught homophobia. So because he works within that world, he deals with a lot of homophobia within the conservative mindset, basically saying that he's a sin and it's just the same as like alcoholic or abuse. And every time he just writes it off by blaming the strict left, which I can kind of get because the left does have a way of making people back off to genuine rights of people. But at the same time, he fails to grasp or is in denial that the Conservative Party has always been conserving traditional mindset. And if you are outside of that mindset, then you are classed as either the enemy, less than, or something to preach at. And unfortunately, because he is gay, he classes as that. I've watched quite a few times conservatives basically call him a sinner and saying that I see the same thing as just you being gay as the same thing as my past with alcoholism or an abusive relationship. And I absolutely hate with a passion when people says this, because I don't care what anyone else says, but just simply being gay is not the same as someone who is into alcoholism or abuse, because that inflicts harm. We're just simply being gay doesn't. Being gay, it's just the same as someone being born with like a different skin colour or being born with a deficiency. It's something that you can't help. And there's something that the Conservative Party in the past has tried to debunk so many times because it goes against their God and their traditional values. So the reason why I'm bringing up Dave Rubin in the first place is because he has a husband, and he has for quite a while, I think, if I remember right. But him and his husband have just recently got these surrogate babies. And the average person who is, I would say, not political on either side would see that as a great thing and would be like, oh, congrats, you're going to be such a great dad, welcome to parenthood kind of thing. I hope that you have a great time with being a dad. You know, most people would be supportive, but on both sides, he's gotten a lot of hate, but mostly on the conservative side because he is a gay man. So they see that as like completely wrong. I even saw a video of these two conservatives. I don't know their names fully, but they basically called him a predator and a pedophile, and basically said that he is a thief because he stole two babies from a woman's womb, when obviously that's not how it works. So they are very extreme, and I will say conservatives don't tend to outright say that, but I do believe that the bigotedness is the same. So I just feel really sorry for him. The fact that he is in this world and in this job where people think that he's a sinner and very outwardly say, your family is not the same as my family. And it just made me think after I said this, where it's like, when you are too much into the far left or the far right, you really do put up with shit, and you really do pretend that you agree with some things that they say when really you don't. And it just kind of made me be thankful that I am more moderate and just an old school libertarian for the most part within my mindset, but that I don't agree 100% with a lot of the far left, and I don't 100% agree with the far right. You know, I am very glad that I have a personality and a mindset that is willing to listen to different opinions and grow as a person, and I'm very thankful that naturally I'm just not a sheep. And I just don't go along with things just because someone said it. That I have a free mind, and a lot of the strict left wing and the right wing don't, regardless of what they say. It's all tradition and what they say, and what you shouldn't be in their eyes and their history. I have the best of respect for Dave Rubin. I really do, but I just want him to meet people or reach out to people that are more like me, who don't fall anywhere on the two sides of the political spectrum, and he will find that overall that people will be more accepting of him, and for the most part they won't be crazy like what a lot of the left are like, but then they won't be either outright or indirectly homophobic, because they are about to bring some kids into the world and they don't want to be around people who don't accept them or don't appreciate their new family. So I just wish that he would understand that, and not don't, like, I'm not saying he shouldn't be friends with the people that he's friends with now, but I'm saying that he should go out and find people who are moderate, who will accept his family for just who he is. That way his kids can be brought up with two loving parents, but then be in a community that's all accepting and doesn't see them as less or a sin or whatever. I think I mentioned this in another video where I think and I know that the world now needs to be in a grey area where people are willing to listen to other people's perspective, opinions and mindsets. And whether you're on the far left or on the far right, or like me who don't fall 100% with any of them, we need to understand that the world is grey and it's not black and white, and we need to get on as a society, and we just need to accept people who we feel that are different, and to not blame religion and not blame God and not blame the old-fashioned mindset that you were brought up with, and grow within this world. Well, I think that's all I wanted to say today, guys. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you have a similar reaction to what I said, and or having a similar opinion, or if you don't, let me know down in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you obviously liked it, give it a like and subscribe. My socials will be down below for my other YouTube channel, which I react to music that I have or that I've listened to, and I give reviews of it. So I say the names of the albums and the songs, and then I state my favourites, and then I recommend the album to people who might be into the specific genre. And so I love you guys.